Welcome to Nagasaki. We hired a car for a 12-day drive around the Japanese island of Kyushu. On the road trip, I saw breathtaking scenery and hot springs, amazing castles, and beautiful cities. I explored spectacular temples and shrines, got buried alive, and rode horses, sledges, zip lines, boats, and helicopters. Join me on this amazing adventure. For the 4th day of our Kyushu road trip, we drove from Houston Bosch to the port city of Nagasaki. We checked into the ANA Crown Plaza, Nagasaki Glover Hill, a hotel close to some of the sites we wanted to visit. Glover Hill is right next door to the hotel. Our day started off wet, so we decided to just walk up the hill to Glover Garden.
The cherry blossoms are falling off the tree.
The falling cherry blossom made it look like a pink carpet was being formed on the ground. Someone had even made a heart shape from the fallen blossom. I didn't have to do much climbing to reach the top of the hill. The garden has escalators to make the journey really easy. Glover Garden was built in 1863 for a Scottish man called Thomas Blake Glover. He brought lots of Western technology to Japan and helped the country become more modern. Some of the Japanese companies he helped start were Mitsubishi and the Kirin Brewery Company. The houses in the garden are open to explore. I collected a stamp to show I had visited.
Yeah, great view from the house.
The big white house overlooks Nagasaki Harbor. There are more houses to explore as you walk down the hill. I like that the inside of each house still had its original furniture. Outside the cafe is a statue of Jokichi Kusano. He opened the very first Western-style food restaurant in Japan.
It's too wet now, but it'll be beautiful having coffee and ice cream here under the cherry blossoms.
I learned that Thomas Glover's house is the oldest Western-style building in Japan. It is a British-style house, but was built by a Japanese carpenter. There are many rooms to explore to learn about how he lived. I stopped for a quick snack on my way back down Glover Hill. Kakuni manju is a piece of slowly simmered pork belly placed inside a soft steamed bun. It was very hot and very tasty.
Your teeth just cuts through the meat.
Once the rain had stopped, we walked to Dejima. This was built in 1636 and was once a small island. For 200 years, this was the only part of Japan that foreigners were allowed to visit. Some original pieces of Dejima remain, like the posts from the bridge to the island. There's a lot to explore inside. The people living on the island were mostly Dutch traders.
They ring this bell when the cargo arrives.
I learned about Dutch traders, how they reached Dejima, and about the items they traded there. It has beautiful engravings on the cannon. Some of the rooms recreate their Western style of living. This is the kitchen. This is where the chief lived. These are the scales they used to weigh items being traded. The traders introduced many types of Western food to Japan, including sweets from Portugal. Outside, there's a small-scale model of Dejima and a recreation of the original entry bridge.
The original bridge was like this.
All that learning about how Western ideas and goods came to Japan had made me hungry. Blanche Otto Dejima was only a short walk away and specializes in soft pancakes. My sister ordered fruit pancakes.
This is choco banana pancake.
The chocolate banana and cream topping was huge and the pancake was very fluffy. It was delicious. Back near our hotel, we visited the Gunkanjima Digital Museum. We learned what it was like to live on a remote island 20 kilometers away from Nagasaki, digging every day for coal. This made us want to go see the island ourselves, so we walked to Dejima Harbor and joined a boat tour. It was a big boat with indoor seats and a large deck outside. I climbed the steps to the cabin area. As the boat started its journey from the harbor, we were invited down to the deck for a closer look. Some of the boats looked like the ones you could see in an action movie. Our boat started to pick up speed, and as it went under the suspension bridge, we returned to the cabin.
We're going on a boat to go to Gunkanjima.
About 40 minutes later, we got our first view of the abandoned island. I returned to the deck for a closer look. While its real name is Hashima Island, this is usually called Gunkanjima because the island looks like a Japanese battleship. The island is less than half a kilometer long. At one time there were more than 5,000 people living on the island to dig coal. The deserted island looked very eerie. Most of the buildings have been broken by typhoons and are falling down. Many other tour boats were starting to reach the island. Our captain steered towards the dock to see if we could land. Unfortunately, the waves were 1 centimeter too high for him to be allowed to land, so this was as close as we could get to the buildings. Back in the cabin, they gave us a tasty Gunkanjima ice cream snack. About 50 minutes later, we arrived safely back at the Dejima harbor.
Today we went to Gunkanjima.
The There's so much to learn about in Nagasaki. We moved on to the Nagasaki Atomic Bomb Museum. Nagasaki was the second city after Hiroshima to have an atomic bomb dropped on it. The museum and Peace Park are really big places and commemorate the sad events of 1945. Through the displays and recreations of the damage, I learned about how terrible the bomb was for people living in Nagasaki. I also viewed the paintings from children wishing for future peace and a world without nuclear weapons. You walk down some steps to the Hypocenter Park. A path leads to the stone monuments surrounded by many painted circles. This marks the spot where the bomb exploded. The Memorial Park is next door with a water fountain leading to a giant peace statue. The finger pointing to the sky reminds us of where the bomb came from. Nearby, you can see the Urakami Cathedral, which was almost completely destroyed by the bomb and has since been rebuilt. It was now time for dinner. Nagasaki is famous for having the best Chinese food in Japan, so we called a taxi to Shinchi Chinatown. There are many Chinese shops and restaurants there. Hundreds of years ago, the Dutch traders had to live in Dejima, and the Chinese traders lived near Shinchi. Our taxi driver recommended a restaurant to us. They had lots of choices, so we decided to try a few dishes. The soft pork bun was a must try. You build it yourself.
The meat's surprisingly really soft.
The sweet and sour pork and spring rolls were delicious. So too was the chowhan, Nagasaki chanpon noodles, and mabudofu. I finished off my huge meal with dessert.
It was really good.
By now it was dark, so we called a taxi to Mount Inasa. This mountain provides one of Japan's top 3 night views. We bought a ticket for the ropeway, which carried us to the top of the mountain in about 5 minutes. We walked from there to the observation tower. My sister stopped for a while to play the piano they had on the ground floor of the tower. It was very windy on the large observation deck. You get an amazing view of Nagasaki and the Dejima Harbor area. It doesn't look as breathtaking from the camera as it did in real life. We took lots of photos and noticed that a large heart was lighting up in the distance. I spotted the heart again on the way back down the ropeway. We ended our packed day with a walk past Nagasaki Dejima Wharf. I really enjoyed my visit to this city. Nagasaki has so much history and there are so many things to do here. I hope you watch my next video where we visit Kumamoto to explore their beautiful castle and try some local delicacies.
If you like this video, please subscribe down below.